We've got some Dragon Ball Daima leaks to talk about today, but we also have the English dub release date and some rather unfortunate viewership numbers coming in from Totally Not Mark. Let's go ahead and cover the Totally Not Mark stuff first. So, Totally Not Mark recently made a video talking about Dragon Ball Daima's viewership numbers, and they are literally just okay. I mean, they're around 1 million views, and you may think right off the top of your head, 1 million views, that doesn't sound too bad. But then they rightly point out in the video, an anime like Dan Da Dan has a pretty big viewership with about 5 million views. Now, keep in mind, Dan Da Dan's like the hot new anime right now, and this always happens when it comes to like new shows. They'll like peak, and then they drop off a little bit, and then they get a core viewership that kind of carries the anime for the rest of the series or season or however long it is. I think that we are in a spot where Dragon Ball Daima has a core viewership, but they just haven't hit the highs of Dragon Ball Super because Dragon Ball Super was totally a different beast than Dragon Ball Daima. The ecosystem was different, the culture was different. You have to remember, Dragon Ball Super was the grand return of Dragon Ball to TV. Dragon Ball Daima, obviously, is more of a celebration, more of an honoring of the OG Dragon Ball. A lot of fans haven't even seen the OG Dragon Ball, so they may not be tuning in because they hear there aren't any really big action heavy fight sequences like Dragon Ball Super focused on. Dragon Ball Super also focused on new forms, power-ups, things like that. Dragon Ball Daima is really just focusing on comedy and adventure, and I think for some fans that may be a bit of a turnoff. Not for me, but you know, for some fans that is the case. And I do think Dragon Ball Daima will pick up in viewership once it has the opportunity to carry on with more stories, more action, more episodes that may have some more things that other casual Dragon Ball fans are wanting. I mean, you also have to keep in mind there's a lot of fans out there who are even just waiting for the English dub, so I do think Dragon Ball Daima will pick up. But even if it doesn't, that's okay. I don't think Dragon Ball Daima needs to have 5 million viewers for it to be considered a good anime. Maybe Toei could be a little bit disappointed by the viewership, but I honestly don't care. If I'm getting a good anime, I'm getting a good anime, and I'm really enjoying Dragon Ball Daima. Now, we also need to talk about the English dub premiere. It's actually premiering January 10th, which is a Friday at 1:30 PT or 4:30 EST for you EST people out there. Now, keep in mind, this is a little bit weird because a lot of people were expecting it to release a little bit sooner because the English dub premiered in theaters not too long ago, and people were hoping that that weekend after the theaters it would basically be out on Crunchyroll or something like that, but no. It's going to be January 10th on Crunchyroll, so if you guys are excited for the English dub or you're waiting for the English dub, keep in mind, January 10th, Crunchyroll. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the leaks, and these are pretty big leaks. These are coming from Geekdom 101. Who else would they be coming from? He's actually been leaking the anime here and there in his live streams, and I haven't seen too many people talking about it, so what I did was, I didn't make too much noise about it, and I just quietly wrote down a lot of the leaks that he kind of shadow dropped in the streams. And keep in mind, no matter what your opinion is on Geekdom 101, his leaks have been deadly accurate, so this has some credibility, heavy credibility to it. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and click off the video now. Now, this leak I'm going to talk about is pretty big. It is a new form coming in February. He said in a recent stream there's going to be a new form coming in February. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to be very happy. Now, who knows what that is exactly? In this same stream, he talked about how there are a lot of forms and they kind of are desaturating the market in Dragon Ball for forms. Like, it's just getting a little excessive at this point. But he did confirm that there will be a new form coming in February. If you take this with the episode amount, then February will be the month that Dragon Ball Daima ends, because it'll be the month it gets to the 20th episodes. So I think that makes sense that they'll probably release a episode with the new form premiering near the end of the series. That makes sense to me. He also talked about in a recent stream that there's going to be a flashback to Deborah when he was younger. He didn't say how young Deborah was going to be, but I think that makes sense as well. We'll probably see Deborah's dad, Abura. Of course, he's in the opening, so that makes sense. They wouldn't just do a design and leave him out of the series. So I do think if they do that flashback, that's when we'll see Abura. And then, of course, Geekdom 101 was able to confirm that in the next episode preview, we actually are going to meet the werewolf. And there's another guy called Gargoyle. Now, Werewolf is a blue guy, and he turns into the werewolf that we've seen in the trailer. And just some speculation here, if that guy's called Gargoyle, he looks kind of like a bird guy. maybe he turns into a giant stone monster like the werewolf guy does. So that's pretty interesting stuff there. Keep in mind, the only leak is the werewolf thing. The gargoyle transformation is my speculation. Now, there is going to be a Boo clone, but he's not going to be the final boss of Dragon Ball Daima. He did not say who the final boss of Dragon Ball Daima will be, but he did say in the stream that there will be a Janemba looking villain at some point. Now, there's also an image going around of him posting art of the Janemba-like character on his Discord, but that entire screenshot is photoshopped, including the artwork of this so-called Janemba-like character. So while he has said on stream that there is going to be a character that may resemble Janemba, that does not give this screenshot any credibility. He's debunked this screenshot. He said that he didn't actually say that. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. Now, he also said in his recent stream that there's going to be a horse with boxing glove in this anime at some point. He didn't say when it will appear, but he was able to confirm that there's going to be a horse with boxing gloves, which is crazy, but it makes sense. It's Toriyama style. And then the last leak I wanted to talk about today was that Gohan will appear in the final battle, according to another leaker who Geekdom spoke to. Now, keep in mind, Geekdom did not say this himself. Geekdom has gone on record as saying he's seen nothing that would indicate Gohan is in the series. There's no behind-the-scenes material with Gohan on it or anything. But Geekdom talked to a leaker who is on Twitter, and he did not give away the leaker's name. But he said he previously talked to this leaker, and this leaker came to him asking, have you heard anything about Warp? And at this time, Geekdom did not know who Warp is. We now know Warp is the big fish guy who is responsible for transporting people to and from the demon world. Of course, at this time, Geekdom did not know who Warp was, as he said in the stream. So this other leaker does have some credibility there. And this other leaker said that Gohan will appear in the final battle. Now, on my part, I can speculate here. Maybe the final battle will see them going to Earth, and then maybe that's how Gohan gets involved. And we could see a Kid Gohan Super Saiyan 2 moment. Who knows? Of course, this could also just be untrue because, like Geekdom said, this isn't coming from him directly. It's coming from a leaker that he spoke to on Twitter. So Geekdom said it could not happen. It could happen. But this is coming from somebody that got some things right in the past. So take that one with a grain of salt. All the other ones I would put on the higher end of being true because Geekdom, when it comes to Daima, has a pretty good track record. So yeah, guys, that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.